everybody, this is Elizabeth. Recently, I watched the movie Mavka, which comes from the Ukraine. And the only reason I knew about this movie was because Saber Spark had spoken about it, and he didn't really go into detail, but I'd seen trailers for it before, and I knew that there was going to be an English version done of it, and I absolutely love this movie. This movie is very enchanting. It's extremely well animated. The songs are exquisite. And although it's predictable in spots, it's a great representation of the Ukrainian culture, particularly gypsies, which I love because I consider myself a gypsy soul. But the whole idea is more of a cautionary tale. And I won't say why, but there's a lot of folklore here. And I'm not familiar with Ukrainian folklore, but I'm pretty sure it went a lot into the making of this film. But if you want something that's lighthearted, uplifting, and there will be parts that will make you cry, because it made me cry too, but it is just an absolutely glorious movie, and everything about it is absolute perfection. And I would honestly love to have a copy of it because it's just that well done, and it's just so charming and so very enjoyable and likable, and just this tremendous tale that captivates you from the very beginning. And I don't have anything ill to say about it. There was nothing that I could see that was a nag, except for just being predictable. Of course, a lot of films have this, and if you've seen enough film like I have, then of course stories become meshed together, and it's hard to see individuality coming through in a particular tale. This one was definitely unique. It stood out on its own, and the animation just blew me away. It's absolutely stunning. It is phenomenal, and even the voice acting was just great. The English voice actors just nailed their roles, and there was a character named Hush that really stole the show. I absolutely loved because he was comedic relief, but he came across as, a badass as well, and I thought, wow. I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but it was just so cool. I loved him. He stole my heart. But beyond that, I have to say, if you're looking for something different and unique, and something that stands out on its own, then definitely watch Mavka. It's worth your while. It's a tremendous film, of course, lesser known, maybe underappreciated due to all the other animated films out there. I'm still hoping that Kiss Cartoon will get Elemental, because I would really like to review Elemental. And I want to review Ruby Gillman, even though Ruby Gillman has been flopping horribly. But I kind of feel ambivalent to reviewing it, but because everybody who's reviewed it has said it was awful. But I wanted to see it because I love the idea of krakens and mermaids, so yeah, you can guess where this is going. But I wasn't able to procure the remake of The Little Mermaid because it wasn't on Kiss Cartoon. They had the Abomination that was made by AI that Saber Spark reviewed, and then Meat Canyon had a chance to look at it and said, no children should watch this. No child should be subjected to this. Heck, even adults shouldn't be subjected to this kind of torture. I'm like, yeah. After seeing what Saber Spark had to endure, I have to agree with him there. So I have no desire. That probably goes without saying that although the original will forever live in my heart, and I know it by rote by this time because I've seen it like 10 times plus. I probably recite it perfectly, no problem, just like every other Disney movie I've seen since I was a kid. So it's all up here, and it's never going away. But yeah, I know this is me going back on my word, but definitely Elemental. If it comes to Kiss Cartoon, yes. If Ruby Gillman comes to Kiss, yes. Little Mermaid, they don't have the original, so I mean they don't have the remake, so I don't know if I will even be wagering to watch that one because I don't want to subject myself to that. So all the other reviews, I think they say what everybody else has been wanting to say, and we all know that Disney is suffering. However, I did notice that they had a new cartoon available called Kazazimoto. So Kazazimoto is a story that takes place in the future in Africa. So being somebody who's intrigued by African mythology, I thought, yeah, I could definitely look into this. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Anna Nazi's in it, because Anna Nazi is one of my favorite characters of all time. For obvious reasons. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just hoping they go that route. If they don't, no harm, no foul. As far as grading the story of Mavka, the whole movie itself, 2 thumbs way up. I mean, no contesting, no betching, no nothing. There are no lulls, no lags, no real nags that I have, or any kind of critique that would say that this movie was terrible. It wasn't. This movie was absolutely tremendous. It was probably one of the best animated films I've seen in a good long while. And completely unexpected, out of Ukraine, which tells you something. And this had so much hope and heart, and very uplifting, very heartwarming, very endearing. Such good messages came out of this movie, although it was all environmentally focused. I mean, despite that, it was just such an outstanding film. And if you have a chance to see it, do, because it will. I mean, it literally took a lot of the backgrounds, the scenery was absolutely extraordinary. I mean, it really was. It made me gasp. I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. And I mean, I was saying that to myself, that this is gorgeous, and oh, look how quaint that is, and how idyllic. And it was totally splendid. It truly was. I'm not just saying that to say that. And water, that there were parts with water that were animated right. That is so hard for an animator to get, even if this is their first foray. I mean, they nailed water and the physics of water, which, yeah, they're hard. Let me just put it that way. I've seen water done many times in animation, and still, I mean, even if it's just a kind of a rill or creek, it's still just, I think, the water on the reflections in the water, or the light on top of the water, and a lot of the cartoons I used to watch just still take my breath away, literally take my breath away, because it's just so pretty. I mean, you're just like, I want to live here, I want to go here, I want to, exist in that moment, and just, sit by the creek and relax, because I feel like I could. I mean, I feel like I could literally just leap into that that animation cell, and never complain. But 5 stars, hands down, across the board. Like I said, if you haven't seen Mavka, I would highly recommend that you do. And you're probably going to have to go to Kiss to get it, but if not, then procure it some other legal way, unlike me. But that's all I have to say. Until next time, live on prosper. Ciao tutti, catch you on the flip.